going to do to make this happen? What will be your first step? Can you visualize the first steps you are going to take towards your goal? What needs to happen? And what is going to be your next step? Who is possibly involved? Who could help you making these steps? What do you need, or who do you need to be able to make these steps? How are you going to implement these steps that you need to take? What concrete, specific things are you going to do? What concrete and specific things are you going to do? Be practical, be realistic. Plan your steps ahead. And how will you know that you achieve your goal once you're at the end of this road? When will this be? And where will this be? So it is actually happening already. I'm going to invite you to step into the critic positions. Make a step on the red paper. Look back at the yellow and the green paper. Look back at the realist and the dreamer. We are now in the critic phase. And sometimes it helps when you're critical to look down a little bit. So look down on your realist and your dreamer positions where you just were. And see, and we're going to be constructive in our criticism. This is what in the movie making industry they call the sweat box. Not because they were sweating, because they were afraid of all the criticism, but they were sitting below the stairs and there was no ventilation there, so everybody was already sweating when the door closed. And that's when they started to look at the first renderings of the movie. So you just made your first renderings in the yellow phase. And we're now going to look back at those renderings. And we're going to dissociate. So you actually see yourself now in the picture. You see yourself doing the steps of your planning. You see yourself being the realist. You see yourself in your dream. You're dissociated. And the first question is, what makes sense already? What is already there? How does it all fit together? The things you just dreamt and the planning you made, the steps you saw. How does it fit together? And what might still be missing? What might still be missing? What criteria are you not meeting yet? What criteria are you not meeting yet? What's not perfect yet? What needs one or two adaptations? What are you still missing in the quality of the thing you'd like to achieve? Is it already up to your quality standards? Or should there be more? Who or what can help you? What can still go wrong? What steps are not taken yet that you do need to take? What steps are you not taking yet that you do need to take? What is not completely tuned yet? Is there a disbalance you still need to work out? Here's another question. How possible is it? How possible is it what you dreamt? How possible is it? And what aspects are possibly still failing? What is underdeveloped? Okay, I'm now going to ask you to step back into the 6 of the clock, the meta position, and look back at the 3 phases. You're now in meta position, this is the learning position. So now I'm going to ask you to take 1 or 2 minutes to evaluate the 3 steps you went through. You may feel the wish or the need to write some things down for yourself. So I'm going to give you approximately 2 or 3 minutes to quickly evaluate for yourself, okay, how was it to go through these 3 phases? Are there things that you want to write down? Write them down and quickly find someone, a neighbor, somebody in your environment, to quickly exchange on what this experience meant for you so far. And after the 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to go through the 3 phases again. We're going to go a little bit quicker, but we're going to do one more time. Yeah? I'll tell you later on why we're doing it the second time. Yes? So 2-3 minutes, quickly exchange, make some notes if you want. And then we'll pick it up from there.
positions, the meta position, 6 o'clock position. Because you've already gone through the phase, and the first time is a little bit, you know, we still have to get used to what are these people doing on the floor. So now you know what we're going to do. So it's going to be easier, the flow is going to be better, and also you're going to find out that things are going to look different because you already went through 3 phases. And you're going to take the evaluations that you made in the critical position, you're going to take them with you into your new dream. So you can actually already implement in your dream the things you still need to change or adapt to that dream. Yeah? So let's try it one more time. You're in the meta position. First of all, close your eyes for a few seconds and connect to your dream again. That's the first step. And once you feel connected to your dream, then feel free to step into the dreamer positions, the green paper on the floor, facing the red and the yellow papers. It helps to look up, because that's usually where ideas come from, they fall from the sky. And visualize your dream again. Visualize your dream and notice what's different compared to the first time you made this visualization.
So how does it look like there?
It feels more comfortable from before.
Good.
Not as scary.
Excellent. Nice. Visualize where you'll be. So you are part of the dream. You're fully associated. You're looking through your own eyes. What is happening there? Where are you? With who are you there? And when is this? What do you see when you're there? What do you hear when you're there? And what do you feel? How does it feel like to be there? And what do you smell? Let your imagination on the loose. If there is a voice in your head saying, well, this is not going to work anyway, tell it, thank you, not right now. Put it on the cloud, let it drift away. With what purpose do you want to be here? What will it be like? Who or what is it that you would like to be? Alright, then we're going to step into the realist phase, the yellow paper, looking back to the dreamer. You're now looking straight ahead. We're going to chunk and sequence the steps that are necessary to get to your goal. But we're going to be matching, so we're going to do exactly the things that are needed to get there. The storyboarding phase, as if things are already happening. What are you going to do? What will be your first steps? What are the first steps you are going to take towards your dream? And what will be the next? What actions are you going to take? Who can help you? What do you still need? How are you going to implement these steps? What concrete, specific things are you going to do? When will this be? And where will this be? How will your planning look like? And maybe this is a good moment to look at the first step you're going to take to get to your dream and decide for yourself when you're going to take this step. So what will be the first step and when are you going to take this? Be very specific, be very concrete and practical. And if you did that, I invite you to move on to the critic phase, step onto the red paper, looking back at the dreamer and the realist. And you can look back on the papers on the floor and ask yourself, how does all this fit together? What makes sense already? And what is still missing? You're dissociated now, so you see yourself in the picture, setting the steps towards your goal. If you set the steps towards this goal, are you meeting the criteria? Are you meeting your criteria for quality? What's not perfect yet? What may not be perfect yet? What or who can help you get there? What steps do you still need to take? What may not be fully tuned yet? What may not be fully tuned yet? And how possible is it what you want to achieve? And what aspect may still be failing? And how can you solve that? How could you solve that? And in what time frame are you going to solve that? Okay, thank your critic voice for the help and step back into the meta position and just evaluate for yourself for a minute or so, 1 minute, and maybe with your neighbor. Okay, how was the second phase? Now give it 2 minutes, evaluate for yourself. How was it the second time around compared to the first time? And what did this exercise bring you? Yeah, and quickly exchange with a neighbor, give you 2 minutes, and we'll pick it up from there.
Oops.
You may want to take some notes for yourself on things you told yourself you're going to do. Write them down before you forget. So how was that? Can anyone share what they experienced or what this exercise you might have learned them or what you got out of it? Who wants to share something? You want to?
Sure. It made me realize that it's a tangible dream if I just actually start taking the steps towards it.
Nice. Yeah. And what's the feeling that it gives you?
Excitement.
Excitement. Good. Thank you. Other people, other experiences. What have you heard, seen, experienced? I'm going to give the mic. I'll pass you the mic. Here I come.
The second time around, I got more detail, and it was easier to see that it could be real.
Nice. The second one got more detailed, more realistic. This is what you're nodding here, acknowledging. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yes.
Experience that? More detail the second time around, more concrete? Yeah. Juanita?
Yeah.
Let's share your experience.
Yeah.
I found it very helpful to share my dream with someone else, and I think we both felt that we got recognition that it was possible, and we gave each other some tips on how to get there. So share your dream.
This is nice, recognition of it being possible. Oh wow, I can actually do it, yes. We can almost do anything. And then I went to the workshop of Andre van Meulen, South African neuroscientist. We had a session with him this week, and he also said basically you can become anything you want because the brain is plastic. As long as you condition your brain enough for that what you want to achieve, then you're very likely to achieve that. Yeah. Actually, there's a whole bunch of people here from the delegation, the Dutch delegation. We're about 50, 60 people coming from Belgium and the Netherlands. And there's a whole bunch of them this morning also to support me during this workshop. So it's really nice, and I appreciate it a lot. Anyone else wants to share? What did you experience? Thomas?
I had a very supportive partner. What's your name? Val. She's great. Anyway, it was just wonderful. I'm not going to say much, but it was great. It was a great time to think about these.
Great. I think I can tell by the way you guys were speaking to each other. Very nice. Yeah, great to see. Anyone else wants to share? Yep.
One of the things I noticed is I think when I'm thinking about this, before I did this activity, I tend to stand a lot more on the red diamond, so to speak, and think a lot more of the ways of why it's not possible or what feels away. And so being able to take the steps definitely helped get the picture. Great.
Thank you.
I think that previously when I thought about this goal, this dream, I've let the critic take the role of questioning why I haven't yet begun to work toward it. So putting that to the side and first focusing on the realist before the critic, it eliminated that part of the critic, and the critic was significantly more valuable.
Nice. Yeah. Can you feel how this would help in businesses also? If you're trying out new things, who works with colleagues and say, oh, we've tried that before. Oh, you don't need to do that. Oh, there won't be any money. Oh, you won't get support. Yeah. Cut the whole crap, you know. Go back to planning things. Make it happen. How do you make it happen?
I was just going to say that I really liked when you were introducing the 3 different categories. And to his point where he felt like he spent a lot of time on the red, I just kind of had this big aha where I do feel like people have strength in some of those different categories, and I work with a lot of people who are really great dreamers, and they have all these ideas and all this energy, but they really struggle with some of the other pieces of it. So I loved pulling in all 3 of those and really making some stuff happen.
Very nice, thank you. And a very good comment also. This is a short workshop, so we can touch on everything, but we all have our favorite phase. We all have a phase where we're good at, and we have phases that we're less good at, and you can develop those aspects of the phases you usually maybe skip or don't spend that much time upon, because you like to go back to the critic, because that's the guy you know and that feels comfortable. And we know from Simon Sinek, we like to be in a position where you feel comfortable. So we go back to what our favorite phases. Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the fact that why it's important to share it with someone else, because we have strengths in these other areas. So when you share it, you're able to tap in on those strengths. So share it.
Thank you. Did I see you raise your hand?
There's a woman in the back who raised her hand.
Okay.
It's loud.
One more, yeah, I'm coming. Here we go.
Hi. Mine was really different. Kind of caught me off guard, is the smell. When you said smell, something from my childhood just popped in my head, and it was bubble gum. Bazooka bubble gum. And how we would all have bazooka bubble gum, and we would have contests and blowing bubbles, and who could get the largest bubble, and how does that apply to my life now? Because all of a sudden I'm thinking bubble gum. And, you know, something in my childhood and a group of us going together and working and seeing who could win and encouraging, and it was just strange how that bubble gum.
Yeah, and it may be interesting to, in the next couple of days, to think, okay, so how does this childhood smell relate to the dream I'm trying to achieve, or the wish I still have? Could be something you loved to do when you were a kid and haven't done for a long time.